I buried my dream last Tuesday. It wasn't a person, but it felt like a death all the same. For context, I am a 28-year-old software engineer. I didn't come from money. My parents were always bad with finances, and my younger brother, Caleb, 22M, inherited their complete lack of responsibility. Caleb is the kind of guy who spends his rent money on sneakers and then asks to crash on your couch because his landlord is unreasonable. I, on the other hand, have been obsessed with one thing since I was 16, the Audi R8. I didn't party in college. I drove a beta Honda Civic with no AC for 7 years. I worked overtime, picked up freelance gigs, and invested every spare penny. 3 months ago, I finally did it. I bought a 2021 Audi R8 in Mythos Black. It was my trophy. It was the physical manifestation of 10 years of discipline. I only drove it on weekends. I hand-washed it. I didn't even let anyone eat inside it. Last weekend, I had to fly to New York for a client meeting. I parked the R8 in my garage, put the cover on it, and locked the keys in my heavy-duty gun safe in the home office. I told my parents I would be gone, but I explicitly told them, nobody goes near the house. On Saturday night at 3:14 a.m., my hotel room phone rang. Then my cell phone rang. I woke up with that heavy, sinking feeling you get when the world is about to end. I looked at the caller ID. It wasn't a contact. It was a local area code from back home. Hello. I answered, my voice groggy. Is this Mr. My last name? A stern voice asked. Yes. Who is this? This is Sergeant Miller with the Highway Patrol. Do you own a black Audi R8? License plate? Number? My heart stopped. I actually sat up in bed and felt the blood drain from my face. Yes. It's in my garage. Why? Sir, your vehicle was involved in a single-car collision on Interstate 95 about 40 minutes ago. The room spun. Collision. That's impossible. I'm in New York. The keys are in a safe. The driver has been identified as a Caleb, my last name. He is currently being transported to General Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. We need you to confirm if he had permission to operate the vehicle. I didn't speak for a full 10 seconds. I couldn't process it. Caleb, my unemployed, reckless brother who has 3 speeding tickets in his own dented Corolla.
No, y disparat.
He did not have permission. He stole it. I see, the sergeant said. Well, sir, I hate to tell you this over the phone, but the vehicle is a total loss. It flipped twice. It's currently being towed to the impound lot. I hung up. I didn't ask about Caleb's injuries. I didn't call my parents. I just sat on the edge of the hotel bed, shaking. I caught the first flight home at 6 a.m. I went straight to the impound lot before I even went to the hospital. When I saw it, I threw up. It didn't look like a car anymore. It looked like a crushed soda can. The roof was caved in. The wheels were sheared off. The beautiful black paint was scraped down to the metal. My $160,000 dream, destroyed in a night of joyriding. I stood in the dirt of the impound lot, staring at the wreckage, and I felt something shift inside me. Sadness was replaced by a cold, hard rage. My phone rang. It was my mother. OP. She was crying hysterically. Where are you? Caleb is in the hospital. He has a broken leg and a concussion. The police are here asking questions. You need to tell them you let him borrow the car. They are talking about arresting him. He stole my car, Mom, I said, my voice flat. He didn't steal it, she shrieked. He just wanted to impress a girl. He made a mistake. Just tell them you gave him the keys so insurance covers it and he doesn't go to jail. Do this for the family. I looked at the twisted metal of my R8. I thought about the 10 years of overtime. I thought about Caleb's smirk every time I told him no in the past. I'm on my way to the hospital, I said. We can talk there. I hung up. I wasn't going there to save him. I was going there to bury him. The walk from the hospital parking lot to room 304 felt like walking to an execution. I wasn't sure whose life was ending, Caleb's freedom or my relationship with my family. When I opened the door, the scene was almost comical. Caleb was lying in the bed, his leg elevated in a cast, watching cartoons on the mounted TV. My mom was feeding him ice chips. My dad was reading a magazine. They looked up when I entered. Nobody asked, "How are you holding up?" "Did you talk to the officers outside?" My mom asked immediately, her voice sharp. "What did you tell them?" I ignored her and looked at Caleb. "You broke into my house. You cracked my safe. You stole my car." Caleb rolled his eyes. He actually rolled his eyes. "I didn't break in, bro. I used the spare key under the mat, and I watched you type the code into the safe like a year ago. It's not hard to remember 1-9-9-4. You should be more secure." "You totaled it," I said, my hands balling into fists. "You destroyed a $160,000 machine." "It was an accident." Caleb whined, shifting in the bed. "That thing has too much power. I barely tapped the gas and it spun out. The road was slick. You shouldn't own a car like that if it's that dangerous. Honestly, you're lucky I didn't die. You should be apologizing to me." I stared at him. The level of delusion was breathtaking. "I'm not apologizing," I said coldly, "and I'm not paying for it." My dad stood up then. "Now, son, let's be reasonable. We know you're upset about the toy, but Caleb is hurt. He has a broken tibia." "The toy cost more than your house, Dad," I snapped. "Now, here is the reality. The police are waiting for my statement. They want to know if I want to press charges for Grand Theft Auto." "You will do no such thing." Mom shrieked. "He is your brother. You don't put family in jail." "Then who pays for the car?" I asked. "Caleb has no money. You guys have no money. If I tell the police I gave him permission, which is a lie, by the way, then my insurance premiums skyrocket, and I'm liable for the damage he caused to the guardrail. Plus, since he was driving recklessly, the insurance might not even cover the full value." "You have plenty of money." Mom yelled. "You make 6 figures. You can buy another one. Why are you trying to ruin Caleb's life over some metal and plastic?" "Because he stole from me." I yelled back. "He violated my home. He risked people's lives. He just wanted to feel cool for one night." Mom cried. "He looks up to you. He's been so depressed lately because he can't find a job. He just needed a win. And you're kicking him when he's down." I looked at my dad. "Are you hearing this? She's justifying grand larceny because he was sad." Dad sighed, rubbing his temples.
Op, look.
"We can't afford to pay you back. Caleb can't pay you back. If you press charges, he goes to prison, and he'll never get a good job. Is a car really worth destroying your brother's future?" "His future?" I laughed bitterly. He destroyed his own future when he turned the ignition key. I am not eating a $160,000 loss just so Caleb can avoid consequences again. "If you press charges," Mom hissed, stepping in front of me like a guard dog, "don't you ever come to Christmas again. Don't call us. You will be dead to this family." "So that's the choice?" I asked. "I either lose $160,000 and commit insurance fraud, or I lose my family." "It's not fraud," Dad said weakly. "It's interpreting the truth. Just say you left the keys on the counter. Say he borrowed it without asking, but you don't consider it theft." "No," I said. The room went silent. "What did you say?" Mom whispered.
No, irrapata.
"I worked too hard for that car. I sacrificed too much. I am not setting myself on fire to keep Caleb warm anymore. He's an adult. Adults pay for their mistakes." I turned around and walked toward the door. "If you walk out that door, I have no son." Mom screamed at my back. "I mean it. You are choosing a car over your own blood." I stopped at the doorway and looked back at Caleb. He looked scared for the first time. He realized I wasn't bluffing. "I'm not choosing a car," I said. "I'm choosing justice." I walked out into the hallway where 2 officers were waiting with clipboards. "Sir," the officer asked, "do you want to file the report for a stolen vehicle?" I took a deep breath, looked at the closed door of room 304, and made my decision. "Yes, officer," I said. "I'd like to report a theft." The moment I filed that police report, the gears of the justice system started turning, and they didn't care about my mother's tears. Caleb was arrested right there in his hospital bed. He was charged with grand larceny and reckless endangerment. Because the value of the car was over $100,000, it was a felony. My parents went nuclear. They blasted me on social media, telling every aunt, uncle, and cousin that I had sent my own baby brother to prison over a material possession. They painted me as a greedy monster. I didn't respond. I just blocked them all. But the real pain for Caleb wasn't the criminal charges. He ended up pleading down to a misdemeanor with probation and community service because it was a first offense. The real pain was the money. See, when you tell the truth to your insurance company, they pay you. My insurance cut me a check for the full market value of the rate within 3 weeks. I was made whole. But insurance companies don't just eat a $160,000 loss. They practice something called subrogation. They stepped into my shoes and sued Caleb to get their money back. And I decided to pile on. I hired a shark of a civil lawyer to sue Caleb personally for my $2,500 deductible, my legal fees, and the cost of the rental car I had to use for a month. I wanted a judgment on record. The court date for the civil suit was 6 months later. My parents showed up in cheap suits, looking defiant. Caleb looked miserable. He was on crutches. When the judge asked Caleb's defense, my dad stood up. "Your Honor, my son has no money. He is unemployed. This lawsuit is a vindictive attempt by his brother to ruin him. You can't get blood from a stone." The judge, a no-nonsense woman who looked like she had seen enough entitled kids to last a lifetime, looked over her glasses. "Mr. Last name," she said to my dad. "You are not a lawyer. Sit down. And as for blood from a stone, judgments are valid for 20 years and can be renewed. Unless your son plans to be unemployed for the rest of his life, he will pay." She ruled in favor of the insurance company and me. The total judgment against Caleb was $164,500. Caleb started crying. "I can't pay that. I'll never be able to buy a house. I'll be in debt forever." "You should have thought about that before you took a joyride in a supercar," the judge said, banging the gavel. The aftermath. Because of the judgment, Caleb couldn't just sit in the basement anymore. The court ordered wage garnishment. To avoid going to jail for violating his probation, which required him to maintain employment, Caleb had to get a job. He couldn't find a cushy office gig with a felony arrest record and a massive debt hanging over him. He is currently working 2 jobs, one at a fast food fryer during the day and one stocking shelves at a warehouse at night. Here is the best part. In my state, they can garnish up to 25% of his disposable earnings. Every 2 weeks, the insurance company takes their chunk. And every 2 weeks, I get a direct deposit for about $45. It's a tiny amount. It will take him decades to pay me back the deductible. But every time my phone pings with that $45 notification, I smile. It's a reminder that Caleb is finally learning the value of hard work. He is finally sweating for his money, just like I did. My parents had to sell their house to downsize because they drained their savings on Caleb's criminal defense lawyer. They live in a small rental now. I haven't spoken to them in a year. As for me, I took the insurance payout, added a little more to it, and bought a Porsche 911 Turbo S. I keep it in a secure, climate-controlled garage facility across town. The keys are in a bank safety deposit box, and I sleep like a baby every single night.